Gear up, scooter fam. Today, I'm going to compare the Segway GT2 and the Inmotion RS Lite. Alright, today I'm going to get into a head-to-head comparison on the Inmotion RS Lite and the Segway GT2. Before I get into the video, just like to remind you that there are 3 ways to support the channel. You can buy me a coffee, pick up some merch, or join my Patreon. And all those links will be in the description of the video as well as on my profile. Thanks for your support. All right, so today, once again, we're looking at the Inmotion RS Lite and the Segway GT2. Both are $24.99 at the moment. I would expect the GT2 to stay at $24.99. More likely, I would expect that than I would the RS Midnight. RS Midnight. I think I said the Lite, but I mean the RS Lite or RS Midnight Lite, whichever you prefer. They're both $24.99 at the moment. The RS Lite and the Midnight Lite. One being at Voro Motors and one being at Inmotion on their site. Of course, Inmotion includes the price of tax includes the tax on their pricing that's listed, and Voro Motors will add that onto you in the cart. So whatever that taxable percentage is that they'll add on to the $24.99 will make a slight difference in the price. So know that up front. All right. So once again, they're both $24.99. At Voro, $24.99 plus tax for the Midnight. And I think these scooters compare well to each other. They compete well with each other. At some point when I do get my next scooter, it could easily be one of these scooters. Especially if the if the RS Lite is still $24.99. When I end up making my decision, if that's the price point that I decide on. I still haven't nailed that down yet. Could be, $2,000-$3,000. I would expect somewhere in there. So this could fit it. I might end up, looking more towards a $2,000 range like I did with the Klima, and I might be more around the $3,000 range where I'll possibly consider the Cabo Wolf King GT, which I really like a lot. So we'll see how it goes. Which way I end up going. I still haven't sat down and got to sit down and go over things and really look at the values of the scooters as well. So I'll be taking a deep dive. If I find something I find too good to pass up, then it's too good to pass up. It really doesn't matter what it costs if I think it's a good deal. So and the better the better deal, the better. So if I can find something I found to be a really good value at a cheaper price, I'm gonna take it. If it's a value, it's a value. So that being said, let's get into it. These are definitely possible considerations for my future scooter. Both $24.99. The RS Lite has a better range than the Segway GT2 at about 45 miles per charge. The Segway GT2 gets about 33 miles per charge. Also having a higher top speed at 53 miles per hour, 54, and right in there. The Segway GT2 right at 42 miles an hour. So about 10 miles an hour difference, roughly, 10-ish between the two, with the RS Lite winning that battle. The 0 to 15 is very close, with the RS Lite being 1.8 seconds to 15, and the GT2 1.9. So hardly a noticeable difference there, which is impressive for the GT2 if you ask me. The weight, the RS Lite is 120 pounds versus 115 pounds for the GT2. And so just a few pounds difference there, not too big of a deal. Once you get up to 120 pounds, 3 or 4 pounds doesn't seem to matter too much. The max weight's right at 330 for both of them. They both have two 1500 watt motors. The RS Lite is a larger battery with a 72 volt system versus the 52 volt for the GT2. Big difference there, but surprisingly lesser difference in the performance, especially at 0 to 15, and a little less range, although 30 plus miles of range isn't anything to sneeze at. All right, so both are dual motors. They both have twist throttles, but the Inmotion RS Lite has an option for paddle throttle, which they actually offer for free, I believe, in this package here. They give you a free throttle. Yeah, there it is. Just wanted to double check that. So they both have front and rear hydraulic suspension. Front and rear. They both have front and rear disc brakes. They both have 11-inch tubeless tires, with the GT2 coming pre-sealed, with built-in sealant. So that's good that's nice for the GT2, not to have to worry about that. And then the IP rating for the RS Lite is IPX6, and then the GT2 is just an IPX4. Once again, when it comes to UL listing, they both are UL listed. If you take into consideration that you want the midnight version of the RS Lite, otherwise the RS Lite is not UL listed. So only the midnight version of the RS Lite is UL listed. But once again, the difference between the two is the tax, and it wouldn't personally bother me to save the tax and go with the RS Lite version of the Inmotion RS Lite rather than the midnight. For the money, saving money. If they're both the same price, sure, I'll take the midnight and the UL listing, no problem. That sounds like a deal. But being that there is a slight difference in the cart because of the taxes being included in the pre-cart price on Inmotion, is what it is. Now, I have no problem that Voro Motors adds taxes to the cart. That's the way they want to do it. That's fine. Just know that your competitors aren't. And so if you have the same price, now if it adds up to the same, that's one thing. Like if they had theirs for 22, whatever it was, that's the difference. Then when you add it to the cart, you still get the $24.99. But that's going to be harder to track for a customer. So the customer thinks there's two of them for $24.99, and technically one is actually $24.99, and the other one's $24.99 plus tax. All right, there we go. So back to my comparison. I'm gonna choose one of my favorite. I don't think I've have these head up before. I might have had them in a bigger comparison, but I don't recall. So let me just take a look. Top speed over 40 miles an hour is plenty. The Klima is about the same as the GT2, and that's fine. It actually is a little faster than the Klima 0 to 15. Hardly noticeable. Once again, the Klima is 2, and this is 1.9, so 0.1 seconds difference. The weight isn't too much different. The 72 versus the 52, the difference in range and top speed makes sense. The fact that you can get a paddle throttle over a twist throttle with the RS Lite, I like a lot. IPX6 rating, I like certainly over a 4. Like I said, I prefer just at least a 5. Not that I couldn't live with a 4 if it was a good enough deal. But these are both the same price. And that being the case, at the same price, I'll definitely go with the RS Lite for sure. It's a good, a few things that just obviously, bang for the buck. You're getting a little bit more with the RS Lite right now. Head up if you just, the way I'm looking at it here. It's a little faster to 0 to 15. It's got a better range. It's got a better top speed. It's an IPX6 rating. You can get a paddle throttle. It's a 72 versus a 52. You're not really giving up anything. You're not really giving up anything. If you go with the regular RS Lite, you're giving up a UL listing. But unless that's like a must where you live, if there's a city ordinance or your apartment complex or something like that doesn't allow scooters that aren't UL listing, then I get it. But aside from being forced to get one, I wouldn't be concerned about the RS Lite versus the RS Midnight. I'm pretty sure that they have a similar quality battery in both of them. So, but one has went to the trouble of getting UL listed, which is, great. I think they should all be UL listed. But I just wouldn't pay more to get it for exactly the same scooter, personally. I think that's about it, guys. If you enjoyed this content and you found it helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Consider joining my Patreon, buy me a coffee, or grabbing some merch. Thanks. Happy riding.